Hey everybody. Well, it was time for me to clean my did out, so I took it all apart, and this is the clone, and I washed it all out with water. Now, if you notice, I was very careful on the wick. If you can see that, the wire is still on it. And what I did for that, took it. Now, I didn't wash this out with water. I'll just do this again. Careful with your wire there. Flame is a good one. Burn out any excess juice, and it helps burn off any other things. Okay. Ow. Nope, that was still a little too hot. Okay. So, I picked this one up for about 18 bucks at Discount Vapors, and it's pretty easy. I just thought I'd show you. It comes pre-assembled, and so the O-rings are already on it. Just take it, screw it. I don't screw it all the way in the bottom. I'll just get that O-ring started. Plastic tank, pop that over it. Make sure it's centered closely. Then, when you screw the top on, I do it slow to give the O-ring time to hop in there. Make sure your O-rings are clear of debris too. This has been cleaned and dried and everything like that. I had one time a little piece down here and it caused it to leak, and I had to tear it all open, get rid of that, and it sealed up just fine. So you got to be very cautious on that. I already have these little, I don't know, they're like rubber, silicon insulators. There's one here, one here. Just push my center post up through. Take a look down in the hole, line it up, push it up. I got some big hands for this. Make sure I put the flat side, because there's one that has kind of a, it's not, it's got like a little groove cut in it to match the little groove in the center of it. I put the flat side down. Alrighty. And next one, I know it don't look as pretty. Next one, I will put the flat side up. Seems to help catch the wires better. Can't really see it anyway. Now, I'll take that wick. Put it right down in there. When you flame it, these wires will move a little bit. It likes to release tension, so I'm just gonna work it down. Doesn't like to slip over those threads. There we go. Now before I put that top nut on, there it is. Put that ground screw in. Now I noticed on this did here, okay, these screws are so small and there's such a small lip. Okay, when I wrap the wire, I don't put the wire around like this, you know, come over to the wick, you know, start here, come over to the wick, and then wrap around the wick. I actually put the wire and put the long, or start the wire here, wrap it around the screw, and then wrap it around. So I had a lot of trouble with this ground screw and the wire popping out of it. Every time I went to tighten it down, it would just push the wire right out. So the wire literally comes off the back side of the screw, and it's kind of wrapped around the threads. So I don't know if you can see this. The wire starts here, comes around this side of the screw, over, and then around my coil. And then when I'm finished up, and then I just come over this way. Sometimes some people will come around backside of this and this way, but since I tighten with that, I had to come around this way, so that way it helped keep the wick close to the center positive post. Alright. Take this, just tighten it up a little bit. Looks good. Looks good. What do you say we put some juice in this thing? Some of my DIY here. People who watch this video, I'd like to know, would you like me to make some videos on my DIY experiences and maybe things that I do, and we can help each other out, because it's just trial and error for me. Not even sure I'm doing most of it right. But this is my Black and Mild. Hard to figure out what that's supposed to copy. I'm only going to stick about 1 mil in here. Not even going to really fill it up. Just in case I did something wrong, I have to tear it back down. Okay, now let me get my mechanical mod out. Currently has the AGA on it. Had to readjust my center post there so I take it off the mod. Now before I really let it wick, look at that, I didn't disturb it too much. It doesn't look like there's any hot spots, so it's good. Let's get the wicking started. You probably can't tell, but it's starting to get darker for me. I can see it working its way up. Oh, look at that. Looks like it's doing an even burn too. Doesn't look like one side of the wick is producing more than the other. May not be an expert on these wicks. I'm still learning little things here and there, but it's a lot of practice. Line up my hole. Hey, it's ready for a drip tip. Why do we call them drip tips if we don't use them for dripping? Just asking. Alrighty. Much better. Much better. And they kind of start getting that build up on the wicks, and you get some old juice in there. I like to switch flavors a lot, and sometimes I put a nice dark juice in there so that settles at the bottom and it gets thicker and thicker. I have to wash them out, help keep everything nice and clean. But I like how easy it is just to burn off that wick. A lot of times when you first pull it out, what you do is just like when you first build the wick, and you put some juice across that wick, and then you light it, and that's the first thing I do, and then torch it like what you saw. And some old wicks, I don't even have to hold it like this. I can hold it like this, but as you can see, I don't have but maybe a quarter, maybe a third of it half full, or a third of it full, excuse me. And so I'm tipping a little bit more to keep the wick wet. When I first started building wicks, I had to do this number. Drove me nuts. I'm going to show you how I do my wicks. There's a lot of little specialty things out there, and I tried different ones. And what works for you may not work for me. What works for me may not work for you. But I'll try to put a video out next time I start redoing a brand new wick. So let me know on that DIY whether you want me to start doing some DIY videos and maybe some reviews of DIY flavorings. There is just a little bit of a break-in again when you do that, burn the wick and redo it again, but I think the break-in's pretty much done just in the time that I've been sitting here yakking, you know, blabbering, whatever you want to call it. So now I'm getting the real flavor. It's getting a lot better. It is a lot better, and that's, I think the break-in's done that quick. Maybe I'm wrong, but I do it once a week, whether it be my DID or my AGAT, AGAT. What is it? AGA or AGA? I don't know. Anyway, this is Anthony. Don't fall. I've got my glass tank on that. Don't fall. Happy vaping.